Pat, Thanksgiving is a special time for a family of gourmet cooks who travel the world to feed people during disasters. They're called Mercy Chefs, and this year their mobile kitchens are on the road in 5 cities to serve at least 5,000 people. But the team of volunteers is marking an even bigger milestone. Mercy Chefs is on the road this Thanksgiving, dishing up delicious hot meals to people in need. This is the Thanksgiving tradition for the ministry that spends the rest of the year feeding victims of some of the country's biggest disasters.
Every year we try to pick a location that we've worked during the year in a disaster to go back at Thanksgiving. Well, this year, without any big disasters, we've come to several locations that have very trying situations financially. And we're doing Thanksgiving in communities with existing ministries.
The marathon feeding tour began in 3 cities in Virginia, Norfolk, Suffolk, and Hampton, and continued to Texas, with multiple stops in Dallas and here in San Antonio.
Right here on Zarzamora and Poplar, it's considered one of the worst, it's one of the darkest areas. So what we do, we like to go into the darkest areas of the city of San Antonio and just bring the light, which is Jesus Christ.
Pastor Jim Robles routinely works in this area of San Antonio with his Last Chance Ministries. Mercy Chef's work is helping him to expand his reach at Thanksgiving, from hundreds to thousands.
When I just saw that chef that got off the vehicle earlier and actually dressed like a chef, it was probably kind of impressive, you know, to be able to see them in full uniform. And to me, it's like a soldier on duty, ready to rock and roll.
Chef Gary LeBlanc started Mercy Chefs in 2006, answering God's call for him to simply go feed people.
Something amazing happens over a shared meal. We do it as family, we do it as friends, but to be able to go into a challenging situation, whether it's a storm or poverty, and share that meal with somebody, it makes a connection that lasts.
Food is just a door opener, because there's other needs in the community.
Mercy Chefs is also opening that door in Dallas this Thanksgiving, partnering with Youth World. The nonprofit learning center reaches some of the city's most at-risk children.
I think it's changing lives. I know it's changing lives. It's changing attitudes. Just knowing that somebody cares, that makes a huge impact right there.
Mercy Chefs has been feeding people for 8 years and partnering with ministries at Thanksgiving for the last 6. This Thanksgiving, they plan to feed at least 5,000. But the ministry is reaching another big milestone, its millionth meal.
I had no idea about that kind of quantity. I mean, 1 million meals. I mean, we've done it 100, 250, 1,000 at a time, and it's just added up over 8 years. It's an amazing watermark for us. We're really excited about. We're going to see how quickly we're able to do the next million.
1 million meals in 8 years. Pat, that's pretty impressive.
Well, I tell you, those guys can cook. They say Mercy Chefs, they are professional, high-level cooks, and the food is delicious. So when you're not looking just some soup kitchen, I mean, these guys are giving gourmet food out to these poor people, and the response is enormous. Now, when Sandy hit New York, the Mercy Chefs were there. When Katrina hit in New Orleans, they were involved there. Where there have been disasters around the world, and especially here at home, tornadoes and other devastation, Mercy Chefs show up. People appreciate a hot meal because a lot of times the food stores are closed, the grocery stores are closed, their own houses and kitchens have been devastated. There's power shortages, etc. Mercy Chef shows up, they've got mobile kitchens, and in they come. So anyhow, it's a great charity, and you can keep that in mind. I don't have an address I could give a pitch to say where you could send a contribution, but it's really a wonderful thing they're doing. 1 million meals. Did you ever eat any of their food?
I did. I was covering a hurricane somewhere, and I had the best cheeseburger that I've ever had from them.
It's delicious.
And I still remember it. It was so good. I think I was, you know, like you said, you're out there, you're wet, you're cold, you're tired, and you're hungry, and then somebody gives you something hot, and even when you're a reporter, hey, you appreciate it.
Well, you know, down in Manhattan, Lower Manhattan, during the 9/11 tragedy, those firemen and other people who were working that disasters didn't have any food, and
Yeah.
Mercy Chefs was there feeding them, and I mean, it made such a difference to them.
You know, food is a ministry. It really, really is.
I never thought of it that way,
really
but
is.
I think the trouble is we've
Trust
got
me.
too much of it for all of us, but nevertheless, these guys are good. Gary LeBlanc he is a very gifted chef. I mean, the food, he's from New Orleans, and it's
Yeah.
good food.
It's wonderful.
Well,
That peach
happy
cobbler.
Thanksgiving.